It's Friday, Feedback Friday, the feedbackiest day of the week. What the hell happened there? I was three different keys. Anyway, it's Feedback Friday. Thank Christ the man versus bear thing is over. I learned a lot. This was one of these. I gotta be careful what I say here, because I gotta give credit to Song for her bravery on that one. She took the worst of the shit on that. And it was worse than I thought it would be. I could not take the whole thing seriously. And so I didn't expect anybody to get terribly upset about it as long as they weren't being directly attacked. What I didn't factor in was, one, people were going to come here and take out the fact that they'd been attacked by other women elsewhere out on us in some kind of weird collective blame argument. And two, even though each part was labeled and Two Women Talking has always been serialized, we only record every 3 weeks to a month. We have lives. It's always been serialized. Why people all of a sudden needed this immediate, get him! And I understand it intellectually, but I'm like, holy crap. It says part 1. It says continued next week on the end. The number of comments that we got of the form, well, it would have been nice if you said this sooner. No. Everyone here is an adult. If it says continued next week, that means there's more to come. Also, I don't really think it would have done much because people were making comments that I had already said in the video. There was something just haze of fear and rage that went over people to the point that, remember that guy last week who said, this might sound misogynist, but all I hear is a couple of hens clucking. That guy came back this week and said, it doesn't help that when things like this are brought up, it's presented to men in as insulting and accusatory language as possible, usually to provoke the response it does. Hens clucking. Knew it would probably come across as misogynist. I have no idea how anybody expects to be taken seriously when they are that hypocritical. Just, there's a lot of people walking around with a lot of stuff and flinging it at other people. And I mean, I started this all with a video about why I was on team man. I thought that would cushion things a bit. So, the whole point counterpoint Song coming on, presenting the other view, I really did expect people to take it in the spirit it was given. Instead, people read in a bunch of nefarious motivations that were not there, and all of a sudden, it wasn't Song and I anymore. It was woman 1, woman 2, hate men. And I would think that would lean towards understanding if Song and I stop becoming individuals and just start becoming woman 1, woman 2, two hens clucking, the minute a certain topic comes up, I would think empathy would dictate exactly the guys who had that reaction would understand why when women are posed with the question, not a man they know, it is specifically a man you do not know, why they wouldn't do the exact same man scary reaction. None of this none of the reactions, the strong reactions here, are logical. Strong reactions don't tend to be. Logic is dispassionate. That doesn't mean they're not valid. It just means that I can validate your feelings if you state them. I will not validate verbal abuse, false accusations, and it is amazing how many people made claims, made accusations, and then like, my perception may be faulty, but that doesn't change the fact that it's my perception. And I should give a shit why? It's just, there are ways of talking to people. And it just really seems like there's a certain subset of men that have just given up and they're throwing it. So they just show up and lash out in YouTube comments. And meanwhile, I know that other guys are like, I just want to make these guys shut up, you know? And so I want to be clear. I know it's clearly not all men, right? I had some really good conversations with men about the subject. That's how I got the thing about being taught that women are perfect. You know, that was from productive conversations, and this idea that women are just worth more than men or better than men. And that's benevolent sexism in action, right? And so I think we need to refresh everybody, because it could be benevolent sexism that's at the root of this whole man bear thing. So if you like this, help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/Leanna K, or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone who can use it but can't afford it, coffee.com/Leanna K. Benevolent sexism is this principle that seems in the short term beneficial to women. It's putting women up on pedestals. That idea that women are more virtuous than men. Women are angels, you know, men are dogs, all that stuff. The problem is that it's a straitjacket, and it gives women further to fall when they violate gendered behavior and virtue norms. Put in plain English, it means that women are seen to be inherently more moral than men. So you're one fuck up. You are the great Satan. You're just virgin whore, no in between, right? And that is part of the reason that women are choosing the bear. And if you listen to the answers instead of just reacting and going, it's not logical, there is a logic to it. A lot of people think that women are saying, oh, I'd have a better chance at surviving with the bear. That's not what they're saying. They're saying, well, I'm going to be dead either way. It's better if I'm dead and blameless. That's what they're saying. Because one of the findings about people with benevolently sexist attitudes is that people who rate high in benevolent sexism are more likely to believe a victim of sexual assault had it coming. Benevolent sexism. So you've probably been taught that women are better than men, or women are more virtue than men, or women matter more than men by either a woman in your life, possibly your mother, or other female caregiver, or feminism. And I admit the only reason I haven't walked away from feminism a long time ago is somebody needs to be talking sense in this toxic fucking cesspool of emotional reactions. Fuck the dork side. For people who don't know, the dork side is what I call that very reactionary, emotionally explosive, first person, I was harmed, therefore everything I say is fact, first person narrative tradition, tied strongly to Andrea Dworkin in second wave feminism. It's benevolently sexist. I mean, the idea that women are more virtuous than men robs women of personhood. It's why every time in Stellar Blade, the whole angel thing comes up. Two things happen in my brain. I roll my eyes because holy fucking shit. No. She's a fucking cyborg warrior. It's just what they call them, I know. But then my brain goes, look, Mr. Bubbles, an angel. And that's better, right? Because that was deliberately creepy. Women are not angels. Women are people. And interestingly, because there's no classical benevolent sexism against men. All sexism against men is of the hostile variety. It's not, oh, we need to keep you safe and protected in a single sex space, but you have to be withdrawn from society for safety, and therefore it limits your public participation, because if you go out of that single sex space, well, we can't protect you anymore. And that was something I fought constantly when I worked in news, in the field a lot, even music programming. It's like, no, it's too dangerous. It's like, if it's too dangerous for me, why are we here? It's not like any of y'all know martial arts or anything like that. Things are going to get dangerous. None of you are going to be able to stop it. And I just got these blank stares. So, there were certain stories I couldn't cover because somebody determined it would not only be too dangerous, but the danger would increase if a woman was there, because certain types of men didn't know how to control themselves. And it would become, a hostile, a kinetic environment. Kind of, it's like, fuck. We're here to cover fucking music. We're here for a fucking Ricky Martin concert, for fuck's sakes, And it's an ongoing frustration for everybody, because when those guys told me that, I put myself in the position of feeling like you were inferior, feeling like you were hopelessly second class. And that's awful. And yeah, if you're taught that, seeing certain women behave really, really badly can be very confusing and angering. And, the problem is that woman never asked to be treated as perfect. Well, I don't know, maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene did. There's a shining example of, if any of you, didn't see the Jasmine Crockett, Marjorie Taylor Greene dust up, where Marjorie Taylor Greene started it, saying, I think, you're having trouble seeing through your lashes, and never make comment on a sister's lashes. One. But also, that was not seen as below the belt. And so Jasmine Crockett called for a point of order to clarify what the rules were, because it was okay to make fun of her appearance. She goes, now, does this mean I could refer to another member of this chamber having a bleach blonde, bad built butch body? Obviously referring to Marjorie Taylor Greene. And people tried to both sides that. And I really thought Jasmine Crockett conducted herself admirably there, because women like Marjorie Taylor Greene rely on the fact that she can behave revoltingly. But if people call her on it, oh, you just don't like a strong woman. You know, oh, you hate conservatives or this, that. No. You start it, another person is allowed to finish it. And I do give Jasmine Crockett credit for keeping her head and being clever about it. And holy shit, bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Not only did she come up with that on the spot, that was a freaking tongue twister. Like, I don't know if she had that prepared, if they knew Marjorie Taylor Greene was big on the ad hominems, but damn, that trended on Twitter for days. But you don't, I mean, pre-Trump, you did not see this sort of behavior. And there is a particular venom directed at women, even on the left, because, you know, I've seen it on the left. There are too many left-wing influencers who like to just go, oh, she's not hot, she's ugly, she's a femcel, all that stuff. And that has no relevance on a person's opinions. And I took a lot of shit for criticizing my own side in this man bear thing. But personally, I think that we are responsible for, if somebody says something allegedly agreeing with you that you actually don't agree with, that you think is wrong, you owe it to your own personal values and, you know, the cause you're advocating, to go, hold up, no, that goes too far, you know? And it was really embarrassing to see how little I really relate to other women nowadays. Because I've been through a lot of shit. And I was also just not raised normally. I was raised in a subculture where men, because, you know, it was a majority black neighborhood or black plurality. And so there was this protectiveness surrounding black boys. And we recognized that the system was shitty to these guys. And, you know, we may talk shit behind closed doors, but in public, it's like, no. And I keep going back to this thing of, you know, I came to this via the trans bathroom debate, but it's appropriate here too. That if men are so dangerous and we need single sex spaces for women to protect women from the dangerous men, who's protecting not dangerous men from the dangerous men? And don't those men deserve protection? Shouldn't it be non-predatory people on this side and predatory people over there, and let the predators consume the predators, right? If they want to Thunderdome the shit out of that, go for it. Not only does the benevolently sexist single sex space theory remove women from the public sphere, because public, everyone, you know, there's no sense of protected men's only spaces, just women's only spaces, right? So that means public sphere is inherently and predominantly male. If you don't like it, go hide in the woman corner, which I cannot fucking stand. I hate that. It holds women back. But also, that is leaving men at the mercy of the bad men and the inappropriate men and the, just in microcosm, the comment section of that was the voice that anybody reading those comments would think that this is the normal way men think. And I just know it's not. Right? And unfortunately, that's a problem with the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube comments suck, by the way. You reply to somebody, it all ends up replying to the same first comment. Like, fuck. All this time, you think they could get comment chains right, But whatever. But I've been talking about this for a while now, the centering of bad men. And it's a real problem. Polarizing personalities get the clicks. And we even have progressives now going, well, I'm going to vote for Trump because he can't be worse than Biden. No joke. I actually had a debate with a alleged trans person. I never know, on Twitter, but Trump won't be that much worse than Biden on LGBTQ plus rights. Like, are you out of your mind? Like, seriously, what party do you think is behind all this anti-trans legislation? It ain't the Democrats. But, it's this false moral equivalency. And it's, if you believe that all men at their core are like Trump, then you're gonna think a guy like Biden is just waiting to go mask off. And that, that's the issue as well. The minute Biden does one thing somebody does, you see, he's just as bad. So good men are not seen as normal because the minute they make the slightest mistake, you're just like the bad men. And women, you're angels until you do one thing wrong, and then you're gross, you're disgusting, get away. So what's the benefit to not be a piece of shit? And this is why I do not take crap from people in comments. Because there has to be some pushback when people act like dipshits. And if people can just run their mouths with no consequence, they're going to keep running their mouths and everybody else is going to get drowned out. And this is why I don't normally do this trendy shit. Because I'd rather get fewer clicks and actually have a conversation that is nuanced and affirming for the people that care to participate. I am not interested in pleasing jackasses. I am interested in centering the good people and the people who come to the table in good faith. And I disagree with the commenter that said the whole man versus bear thing is a Kafka trap. What is the denial of where's I'm not that would suggest that me saying I'm team man is actually proving I'm on team bear, because only somebody on team bear would say they're on team man. That's how a Kafka trap works, right? It's a fallacy where if someone denies being blank, denies being on team bear, it would be evidence that the person is on team bear, since someone who is on team bear would deny being team bear. That doesn't work here. I think the application was if a man gets upset, well, that's just proves it really doesn't work. The Kafka trap is saying the man versus bear thing isn't a Kafka trap. Because I say, no, it's not a Kafka trap. That's exactly what someone attempting a Kafka trap would say. And this is why I hate the whole Kafka trap thing. Because Kafka traps are Kafka traps. And The Trial is one of my favorite freaking books in history. The reason I go by Leanna Kay is because of Joseph Kay. You're a woman in the media. You're always guilty of something, and you never quite know what it is. And I love The Trial. So I know most people are like, oh, Metamorphosis is so great. No, I love The Trial. The challenge here is that I asked a bunch of guys, how would you feel seen? How would you feel affirmed? And there's no answers quite yet. And that makes it difficult because, you know, I'd have to stumble around in the dark and get it wrong and have a bunch of people yell at me. Now, the difference between me and a lot of people is I'm prepared to do that. That's what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. And I just wish people would stop actively assuming ill intent. I wish everybody would just give people the benefit of the doubt. Things would go so much better. Somebody can't hurt you through a computer screen with an opinion. Not like this. You have to assume so much into it for it to actually be harmful. And that doesn't mean it doesn't sting. God, I get stung by shit all the time in the media. I mean, we're back to this shit about, oh God, what's her name? Noe or something like that in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Oh, she's not hot enough. I'm sorry if that woman is not hot enough. What the fuck? There's no pleasing people. She's smoking. Like, and hot is subjective. Like, holy shit. Holy shit. You know, just... It's a digital person, for fuck's sake. Just, you know. And that's where I go, I want off this planet. And I have to remind myself that these are only the loud assholes that, you know, pre-order sales for Assassin's Creed Shadows are very good. And a lot of people, they either don't play Assassin's Creed or think it looks good, but they'll wait for reviews. Like, it's a minority. But because they're so loud, we actively have to remind ourselves that it's a minority. And it ends up not feeling like a minority. When you go to comment sections and you eat shit. And you go on Twitter and you eat shit. And you go on Threads and you eat shit. And you go on Blue Sky and you eat epic amounts of shit. You know, oh, we're going to create a left-wing echo chamber and no privacy tools. What could possibly go wrong? It can seem much bigger than it is. And even if you intellectually keep it in context emotionally, it wears you out. It wears you out. And I think that it's important that we acknowledge we're all worn out. Men think they're never going to get a chance because women are perfect and superior. Women think we're never going to get a chance because we have to be perfect. And the minute we make a mistake, we're no good, very bad, literally the devil. I mean, I don't have to, this is not hypothetical for me. I literally did my job as a reporter and talked to people who hated my guts and thought I was part of a conspiracy because that was my job. And I got branded literally the fucking devil by Zoe Quinn and friends, the big defenders of women in gaming. And that was my fault somehow. No, it wasn't. And I think the thing that hurt me more than anything is all of a sudden I just became a woman. And that always hurts because I'm shitty at being a woman. I'm tomboy. I'm not girly girl. Like, you want feminine stuff, go to song. I think dresses are just a subversive way to not wear pants in public. You know? It's just, oh my God, get that away from me. I didn't sign up for that. I do think, though, that we can find a way to be more affirming to guys that aren't the bad kind. But I need your help with that. I know a lot of the people who left shitty comments aren't bad people. Something just triggered you, and so all of a sudden you wrote like your abuser was speaking through you. But you gotta get that under control. Because I can't reward that. I gotta thump you when you engage in ad hominems. You know, when you assume intents. Because you're wrong. The idea that I'd have some nefarious intent after all this fucking time is just absurd and obscene. I gotta ask you to not jump to those negative conclusions. If you want benefit of the doubt, you have to give it as well. And bare minimum benefit of the doubt is wait until all parts are out in something like Two Women Talking before judging the intents or saying that something wasn't mentioned. I mean, that's just basic. And if you don't have the impulse control to wait a little bit before making an accusation, not this is hard to listen to and this is how it makes me feel. No, you're this and you clearly can't handle any, you know, you're only comfortable criticizing your own side. And it's like, fucking shit. I said in the first video that if you make it a black bear and a black man, it sounds terrible. I said that within the first 15, 20 minutes of the entire fucking discussion, and someone had the gall to tell me that I'm only comfortable criticizing my own side. It just doesn't make any sense. This whole thing doesn't make any sense. And that's what makes it compelling, and that's what makes it human, and that's why we have to listen to each other. And I don't buy that people are really listening when they can't accurately reflect back to me what I said. And they're spending all this time focusing, well, your motivation must have been that, and your motivation must have been that. It's like, I did not suddenly become a completely fucking different person just because of the conversation, the topic. That makes no sense. And I do think that, yeah, men need practice expressing feelings, actually expressing their feelings, not accusations because saying I feel scared or I feel hurt is too scary. No one made you write that comment the way you wrote it. Nobody made you. It's a YouTube video. It can't hurt you. You know, it can't. I'm going back to not responding to comments in text. I only did that to defend Song because I was fucking embarrassed about the way she was treated. And I do not find that acceptable. People come on my channel are guests of the channel. If it is a point counterpoint, somebody has to take each side. And my expectation is people take the whole conversation in the spirit which it was given, which we said right off the bat. We were treating it like a trolley problem. There was no wrong answer. There was no right answer. It is just a point counterpoint. If people do not remember that, if people want to change the intention into something we didn't state, that's not on us. And I make content for the people who put in the effort and try to be decent people. So if you have a thing that you would like some sort of affirmation on, someone said, can you please do a video on redemption? I did it. That's how it works, right? You be cool, I will be super cool. You be an asshole, you get the bear. Because I am the bear. I have been doing this too long. I don't care if anybody thinks I'm cute. I've been called every fucking name in the book and been accused of every fucking nefarious thing out there. There's nothing more you can call me. But I don't want any other person on the planet to have that experience. It sucks. It's shitty. I wish I hadn't had to go through it. And I don't want anybody, man or woman, to have to be subjected to the sorts of verbal and sometimes physical abuse that I have been through in this fucking space. And so, to be very clear, women aren't better than men. People are people. Men are not inferior to women. There are nice women. There are shitty women. There are nice men. There are shitty men. I invest in the good ones. I have no fucking time for these assholes that the rest of the world centers. So let's keep the discussions in this space devoted to this space and don't make each other answer for the shit that goes on outside these proverbial walls. Okay? Okay. And like I said, if there's a topic you want me to cover, something you'd like me to affirm, please leave a comment. Thanks. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/Leanna K. Or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone who can use it but can't afford it. Coffee.com/Leanna K. Thanks for watching. And shit. And have a great weekend.